What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Thompson Twins. And we're going back to their 1985 album, Here's the Future Days. And the next tune is called Emperor's Clothes Part 1, though I have to note I don't see a Part 2 on this album. So if there really is a sequel or a Part 2, it comes later in their catalog. I suspect it's, it was maybe never meant to really be a Part 1. It's just some, maybe aspect in relation to the lyrics. Maybe it's just a bit of a cheeky add-on. Either way, like I said, I don't see a Part 2 on this album. But Emperor's Clothes, whether there's some notable variation, it seems to be building off the idea of Emperor's New Clothes, which I forget the person behind that story, but it's a story about gullibility and persuasion. It's a story about conformity of at least perception, or at least action if not perception. Also, the way that sometimes a naive innocence can cut through all that and call things out for what they are. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting takeaways from a story like that. I wonder how directly it'll be relevant here, whether it's a song that actually builds off that story specifically, or whether it might be a narrative invented for the song, but building off those ideas and concepts found in the original Emperor's New Clothes story. Or perhaps, it could be applying the concepts in that story to a historical or, current events figure. Now, again, we're going through an album from a while back, so obviously it would be a reference from the mid-'80s, but either way, I do wonder, the level of applicability in terms of that story and, the way it's directed in the song. So let's find out. This is Thompson Twins. This is Emperor's Clothes Part 1, and it's from the 1985 album Here's the Future Days. Synth pop reggae feel almost. I feel restless in a hot desert sky, and when I touch you, I'm left wondering. Love the percussion in the track. I say it every time. I'm sorry. Those deep bass grooves. are themselves invisible. Slash non-existent. The smooth, mellow, cool groove of this tune is like some vocal flourishing. Amazing. Number one, it sounded like it was essentially saying what the chorus is saying. It's that, like, you know, what it seems like is there's no heaven above, there's no hell below. It's, you know, people out here, and, you know, those things are maybe, you know, invisible people in emperor's clothes, which, again, in the context of that story, they're invisible. Indeed, they don't exist. And, you know, again, it takes someone of a sort of, like, a simple innocence to, like, why is everyone acting like it's normal? Like, he doesn't have clothes on. Like, oh, you're not supposed to say that. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it feels like it was straight away, but maybe there's a catch to it that I'm not picking up on. But, you know, I listen to a lot of punk rock. I'm a secular guy, so, you know, I hear a song like that, and that's where my brain goes with it. But that's the thing. I mentioned in so many different deep dives that, you know, lyrics, even though they have a specific origin, a specific meaning to the people who wrote them, they're inevitably a dialogue, because the people hearing them have experiences and histories and understandings that those lyrics are inevitably filtered through. So that's where my brain goes with it. But again, you know, not only are all people of all different viewpoints welcome on the channel, but I imagine they might hear those lyrics differently, is essentially the point I'm getting at. So yeah, that's what I took from it lyrically. Sonically, like I said, I love that deep, mellow groove. I was like, when it started, I was going to use the word melancholic, and then I stopped myself, because it didn't feel quite, you know, sad so much as it just had this cool, relaxed, you know, maybe a bit pensive, a bit reflective, but not like overtly melancholic. So it just had this really smooth, cool groove to it. And all those little elements, the percussive flourishes, which again, I notice in like every Thompson Twins track I review, it seems like. Also, there was some really cool guitar work. The transitions, I love that deep sort of synth bass, those big grooves that would sort of slide through on the part where they would do those cascading vocals upward, like right before the like formal chorus. So compositionally, I love that transition moment where it sort of hang for a second and then roll it in with the like vocal cue. Yeah, just really cool composition and like sonics in the track. So yeah, I'm loving this album. I know like a couple people were saying it seems to be like shifting away from some of the stuff they did on the previous albums, maybe a bit too busy. I respect that there's a lot of stuff going on, but you know, as people who are familiar with the channel will know, I tend to be positive about a lot of what I hear, and I tend to hear things that I enjoy, and I'm really enjoying this album as we go through it. So yeah, it may be like an evolution and perhaps like a greater saturation of their sound, but I'm loving the songs, this one included. So let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.